The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
9 days from now, the New York Jets franchise could be forever changed. We'll talk about the immediate and the long-term massive implications in this draft for the New York Jets. Dylan Tereman's going to join us. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby.
Number one, we play with maximum effort. There's 3 elements of effort. Got burst, speed, and finish. If I don't see one of those, man, you're a traitor. Go play for somebody else. Win, lose, or draw. The one thing you're going to say about our defense, using the fight. That's an ass kicker.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Days of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go, here on a Tuesday, second show on the day. If you missed it, Robbie Sabo joined us in his weekly spot on the first show. 9 days from now, the New York Jets will pick 7th overall. 9 days from now, we have our first ever Jake Asman Show as Maniac Draft Watch Party at Clinton Hall. Join me, Fireman Ed, and your favorite Asmaniacs as we watch the Jets hopefully nail the number 7 pick all together. It's going to be a great night. We'll have a bunch of raffle prizes. We're going to have drink specials, food specials. It's going to be wild. Can't wait to see so many of you once again and meet a lot of you in person for the very first time. We still got some tickets left, so click the link in the description and lock in your spot today. Let's say hello right now to a good friend of the show, a fellow Asmaniac, and he has moved into his new home, so the setup behind him looks spectacular. Dylan Tereman joins us now. What's up, Dylan?
Jake, what's up, man? I'm so happy to be back. It's been a long 3 weeks. Last time I saw you on here, dude, we still had Asmaniac Madness going. That was the famous Peter versus Nate on the bike matchup. So we now have a winner. Shout out to Bonesy. But, dude, glad to be back. We're less than 10 days away from the draft. Ready to get grinding now that I got everything set up behind me.
You look good. You got the Jets on. You got the Jet, batter. I see a couple footballs there, the hat. I mean, tremendous job by you, Dylan. So, I want to talk about the long-term ramifications of this draft because I go back to when Joe Douglas was hired, and of course it wasn't conventional because he got hired in June of 2019. So the draft had already happened. So his first actual draft was when he was technically in year 2 on the job. That was the COVID year. That was that 2020 draft class. And his first pick was Mekhi Becton. And the Jets were basically chasing their tail because of that mistake. The next several years, they tried to fix left tackle with Dwayne Brown. They tried to do it with all these different guys, right? George Fant. They had Morgan Moses, who was really good. Then they let him go. And they always just couldn't get the tackle situation correct. They finally seemingly have at least left tackle locked in now with Olu Fashanu. But I bring that up because I think, well, it's only year 1 for Glenn and Muji. A first draft really does set the tone for a new regime and could put the Jets on the right path to have sustained success. Your thoughts just on that and just how important it really is for the Jets with 3 picks in the top 73 to get this right going forward with the roster they already do have in place.
Yeah, I think it's super important. And I think that's why some of the picks that I've seen a lot of fans make do make sense for what the new regime should want. But then there's a lot that are head scratchers. And there's some that I advocate for that are also head scratchers, like Shamar Stewart, for example. I think, he's a very high variance type of pick. You're doing a lot of projection in the draft, where if they take him and he busts, that's like the Mekhi Becton situation on your defensive line, where then you're constantly chasing to replenish and allocate assets to the edge position again because you've made the miss. I'm still a fan of taking the premium positions because even if they don't pan out perfectly, you can still get a decent player. So there's a lot of players that make sense to me, and that's kind of why I know Robbie Sabo was on this morning, and he was preaching trenches over necessarily a weapon at 7. And I think that's why I fall in line with that same kind of thinking strategy as far as team building, because if you take Armand Membu and he's not top 5 right tackle in the class, that's okay if he's still like a top 15 tackle in the class. If you take a guy like Mekhi Becton and he ends up not even playing for 2 whole seasons, you have to do so much to come back from that from a team building perspective that it's going to make Aaron Glenn's job hard. So you kind of want the safest pick. And that's kind of why I can get on board with Tyler Warren too, because I feel like he is such a safe pick due to what he brings to an offense. There's no way you can't utilize him unless you have Nathaniel Hackett as your offensive coordinator, and he probably wouldn't even know who he was until about week 12 of the season anyway. So I do agree. You have to go safe because the long-term ramifications are going to set your regime back. You can't have Tristan Wirfs sitting out there when you take Mekhi Becton in the first round in 9 days from now. Like you can't. And I think what's kind of lost on people here is we have the 7th pick in the draft, Jake. There's only one person on this team who was drafted, 2 people, that were drafted higher than 7th overall by this team, and it's Sauce and Quinnen. So no matter what you're getting out of this player, you would expect it to be a top 12 at their position within the first 2 or 3 years of their rookie contract. So it definitely is going to set the tone for this regime moving forward, not just a 1-year ramification.
And 7 is so important, right? Because the goal for this regime is you don't want to ever be picking again in the top 7. Like I understand that a lot of us have our doubts on just what the Jets will be in 2025, but like Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji, they don't want to be in the top 10. They want to win as many games as possible. And if they say, look, we need a quarterback that could take us to the next level, they trade up for that guy. We've seen good teams in the league do that. The Chiefs did that to get Mahomes. We saw once upon a time the Bills do that after they ended their 17-year playoff drought with Tyrod Taylor. Sound familiar? Jet fans, the Jet playoff drought is at 14. So maybe Fields is good enough to get them to 9-8 or sneak into the playoffs, whatever. But even if he is able to do that, it doesn't mean, well, now we have our quarterback, the Jets can't get their guy. Like, to me, it's about like nailing this pick, winning as many games as you can, and then you let the chips fall wherever they may, and you worry about quarterback next year, knowing that you could always trade up to get your guy if that's the process the Jets need to do.
Yeah, I think that's fair, and a lot of the talk has been circled around Shadur Sanders being that quarterback that the Jets could potentially take. I'm not there, dude. Like, I don't see it at 7. I mean, if you want to trade back, there's a lot of people that come into play then at that mid first round pick range where you can justify it, including Shadur to the Jets. But at 7, yeah, man, I want somebody who's probably going to contribute immediately. At minimum, they're a camp competition with the upside leaning toward them to win the job by the end of preseason. I don't want a guy who's like projected as a 1 to 1.5 year project. Like a Jalen Milroe. Obviously that talk at 7 has kind of died, but you definitely need to get a guy with a safe projection. And I know that sounds like scared drafting, but maybe for your first pick, it's not the worst thing to get a safe, easy pick that just gets in and, does his job.
100%. And I also think too, like we spend so much time talking about pick 7, but say they take Warren or they take Membo, whatever they don't take at 7, well, it's almost paramount that you find a way to get someone that could be at the bare minimum, like a real contributor, potentially even at pick 42, a legitimate starter. Like if you take Membu, say at pick number 7, well, I mean, that player that you take at 42, if it's a tight end, if it's Mason Taylor, if it's whatever tight end you want to insert there, Dylan, like that guy has a good chance to start for you at pick 42. And people talk about Joe Douglas's drafts, and he certainly hit on some picks, but let's go back and look at his very first draft as the Jets GM. Look at this 2020 draft class. Horrendous. Like, I'm sorry if there's any children around who are watching this. I mean, this is like not safe for work material we're showing you right now. Mekhi Becton, Denzel Mims, Ashton Davis, Jabari Zuniga, LaMichael Pirine, James Morgan, which, by the way, just take a quarterback. Well, just take a quarterback, get you James Morgan. You have to have some conviction if you make that pick. Cameron Clark, unfortunately, the injury happened with his career. Bryce Hall was decent for a little bit. Braden Mann, I mean, this first class by Douglas, and everyone wanted to blame Gase at the time, but you can't just blame Gase for this. This was atrocious. So to me, for the Jets and Muji and Glenn, it's way more than just pick 7. They got 3 picks in the top 73 the Jets in this draft had 4 picks in the top 79, and they came away with this brutal return. They got to get it right.
Yeah, picks 7, 42, and 73, I would look at as you're doing everything you can to get an immediate starter who's also going to have that long-term effect on your franchise. I broke it down: O-line, D-line, tight end, wide receiver. Those are the first 4 positions I'm attacking in this draft in any order, honestly. Like, you can play the whole game. You go Mason Graham at 7, Ariante Ursary at 42. Maybe you get lucky and Jalen Noel's there at 73, and then you can come back and attack tight end in the 4th and 5th round. And like, there's just different ways you can play it. But if they don't come out with at least 3 of those 4 positions, I'm kind of okay on D-line if they wait. But O-line, tight end, and wide receiver, you really have to nail those picks in this draft, in my opinion. Maybe not get the best guy at the position in the 3rd round, but even Aaron Glenn said it, and I know that's kind of like a cliche, but he wants his 3rd rounders to play like 1st rounders. If we just get a 3rd rounder, dude, that plays like a 4th rounder, that's way more than we've ever gotten out of a 3rd round pick. So I think it's important that the first 3 selections they make, whether they trade up and have less picks in the top or less picks overall, but more in the top 75, whatever it is, you got to hit on those 4 positions, at least in my opinion.
Well, you think about it like this, right? Douglas obviously hit on a couple guys on day 3 on defense. Mm-hmm. When was the last time the Jets hit on a legitimate offensive player on day 2 or day 3? Like, it's been a very long time. I mean, just think about, and once again, a warning if there's children around. Some of these names are, quite offensive to all of us, but we showed you Denzel Mims. You got Elijah Moore the year after that. Until proven otherwise, Malachi Corley falls into that category. And then you go back to the last 15 years during this playoff draft. Steven Stonehands Hill, Devin Smith, Adarius Stewart, Chad Hansen, Jason Morrow. Like, if you're going to take Membu because, it's a safe pick, build through the trenches, all that, cliche football talk, great. Okay, but then you're going to have to come away in this draft with some legitimate offensive players on day 2 and day 3.
Yeah, and that is one of the reasons why I would be an advocate. And I'm not pounding the table. I'm not, staking my claim that this is exactly what they have to do. I'm trying to leave myself as open as possible. But when it comes to the weapon discussion, I get on board. If you could trade down and get Matthew Golden, I don't know. Maybe it's just recency bias because he and Gunnar Helm are the last 2 guys that I watched. If they came away with Golden in the 1st round and they somehow got Gunnar Helm in the 4th round, I think that's an A-plus draft, and you're coming away with really good, clean starter type level players. And I mean, yeah, people are like, well, he's compared to Garrett Wilson. You can't have that. First of all, it's great that Jets are getting comped to prospects because that never happens if they're bad players. And 2, why would you be mad at 2 Garrett Wilson type of players? I mean, I get it. You want the big, tall, contested catch guy if that's your thing, but I could never be mad at a team that wanted 2 Garrett Wilsons at wide receiver. So for those reasons, I can get on board. But like, if you're trying to sell me on Tet or, even Warren, I'm not fully on board at 7. I would love to trade down and try to get those guys. So for me, it would be stick and pick a trench player or try to swindle the board and then go get those weapon types, because I feel like that's where the value aligns with this draft. Tet might not go in the top 10, top 12, top 15. He might be there even when the Colts are picking, and maybe they're choosing between Tet McMillan and Colston Loveland or something like that. I don't think that the weapon at 7 is an absolute must, but it does make it more imperative to hit on him in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round even.
Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. We're talking with Dylan Tereman, Jet Nation live host. You check him out with Glenn Naughton every week. They do a great job talking Jets. He's on with the Buffalo Jet fan once a week. He joins us throughout draft season here every Tuesday, and he's an Asmaniac as well. So we love Dylan, and make sure you guys continue to support his work. We got another raffle coming your way later this week, Jet fans. A signed Keyshawn Johnson helmet is one of the top prizes this week, followed by a signed Al Toon helmet. First time we've been able to finally give away some Al Toon signed merch, plus a signed Sauce jersey. So different generations of Jet greatness on your screen in this week's giveaway. More prizes to be announced. Gift Day membership to be entered in the Asmaniac raffle. If you want a prize this week, your prizes have already been sent out. We did our 22nd raffle yesterday on the show. Now we're up to raffle number 23 this week on the show. Your thoughts, Dylan, on Mason Graham visiting with the Jets for a top 30 visit? They now have met with him individually at the Combine. They took him out to dinner the night before his pro day, and now they're bringing him into their facility. If Mason Graham is there at 7, and I know there's still probably an unlikelihood he is, a lot of people think he'll be gone before then, but if he's there at 7, do you think the New York Jets would take him over, let's say, Warren or Membu?
I would hope so. I think there's like a 25% chance he is there. You'd have to probably have the shocker of like the Giants taking Shadur. Genty would probably have to be in the top 6 for Mason to slide. But yeah, dude, if he's there, I think you absolutely have to get him. I told you off air, I've only gotten to like fully grade 15 players, and they're not just the top 15 players, I believe, but more so schemed toward the Jets. Abdul Carter got an 89.5, which is the highest grade this class. And Mason Graham got an 87.
Wow.
And he's my 3rd ranked player. So obviously you're not including Genty. You're not including Travis Hunter, who would probably push Mason Graham down to maybe like 5th. But I have him graded higher than Cam Ward, Armand Membu, Matthew Golden, and then Shadur Sanders. Those round out my first round grades. So yeah, Mason Graham to me, 100%. It's not a matter of, oh, well, he can't play next to Quinnen Williams. I've never heard like that. I don't know. Maybe it's just like Jets fans over analyzing every part of the season because we're literally maniacs, but you can play Mason Graham next to Quinnen Williams and make it work. You probably need Derek Nottie to play a pretty intense role as your 3rd defensive tackle. But yeah, you could totally make it work with Mason Graham and Quinnen Williams. I mean, again, I think it was Todd McShay comped Mason Graham to Quinnen Williams. So again, you're just getting another version of a really good player on your roster. Nobody would argue that Quinnen Williams isn't a top 3 to 5 player already on this team. So if you have a player with the upside to be at that level, yeah, absolutely, you have to try to take him. So I'm on board with it. I also like his running mate, Kenneth Grant, if again in a trade down situation, not at 7, but those are, yeah, you have to replenish defensive line at some point. And if he's there, that's almost like he's probably the last blue chip guy, I would say, that would be on the board for the Jets. I don't consider Armand Membu a blue chip. He's more of a red chip, like we talked about on my first show with you. And I would probably also consider Tyler Warren a red chip, maybe even a little lower. But yeah, I think Mason Graham would be a steal if he even made it to 7.
Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Let's give some love to our good friend, Mother Effin' Chew, who is in the Asmaniac raffle for 1. He signed himself up to become an official Jake Asman Show channel member. Become an Asmaniac. Hit the join button and help support this channel so we can keep being live each and every day for you, Jet fans. Uno Jets is the first person to gift a channel membership during the show. Let's go, baby. The following 5 people are now channel members, and that is 5 raffle entries for Uno, Sam Aiken, Frank Vessione, NYC, 2 SRQ, Ryan Rivera, and Joel, all receiving channel memberships. All right, we got a super chat here from the big fellow who says, did Ja'Kai Polite get drafted by Douglas? That was a McCagnon special.
Yeah, him and Jabari were like the same thing. Both out of Florida, both like high athletic edge guys. Ended up not being anything. That really like brought my distaste for Florida players. Like people bring them up as prospects for me now, and I'm like, nah, I can't touch them. Florida, nope, I'm too burned.
One last parting gift from Mike McCagnon was spending a 3rd-round pick, 68th overall, which is higher, by the way, than the Jets' current 3rd-round pick this year, which is pick 73, on Ja'Kai Polite, who never played a damn game for the Jets. He had a 1-year career in the NFL, and then he was out of the league. He played for the Rams for 11 games in 2020 after the Jets cut him in training camp, and he never appeared in another NFL game. I mean, McCagnon and his draft selections need to be studied for how bad they were. Like, people bring up the Izek 12, and Izek was awful too. But, like, McCagnon was so bad, man, whether it be the process of taking 2 safeties in back-to-back 1st and 2nd round picks with Adams and May, to the Christian Hackenberg pick in the 2nd round, Darren Lee, Ja'Kai Polite in round, like, oh my God, was McCagnon horrific. Izek was bad, but I think sometimes McCagnon doesn't get lumped in with just how bad he was because he made a couple good trades in year 1, and the Jets were able to have that Fakakta out of the blue 10-6 season only to collapse and break our hearts in week 17.
where he won Executive of the Year. Just absolutely amazing. The Ja'Kai Polite clip that I always remember is him absolutely no regard for rush integrity and like run filling, just blows past the offensive tackle who willingly let him run by him because the run was going that way. And then Ja'Kai Polite turns around and chases the guy down and like gets a really big effort grade from evaluators. So I'm like, he's the reason that the guy ran 25 yards down the field. So if he didn't make up for that play, yeah, he's probably never going to get drafted. So like Ja'Kai Polite was never the guy. At least like guys like Lorenzo Molden, they went out and like did good things in other leagues. They weren't NFL like caliber talent, but yeah, McCagnon was bad other than what, just Quinnen, right? That's the only thing he ever did. Really?
And let's be real, like top 3 pick, everyone's telling you
couldn't
take Quinnen.
Yeah. You could, unless it was Zach Wilson, but
it's and like a quarterback to me is like a separate thing because it's such a crapshoot.
Sure.
But like you're picking in the top 3, like you could accidentally find a good player in the top 3 if we're talking just like, hey, take a good football player that's not a quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
just brutal. I mean, look, let's hope Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn are a lot better. Needless to say.
No.
Devin is in the Asmaniac raffle for 1. He gifted a channel membership. Devin, thank you very much. Your membership went to listener Black Fry. So Black Fry, you are in the channel membership program now. You get your free super chat every month, all the emojis, early release on some pre-tape shows. Appreciate you. Devin with a super chat. 2 Garrett Wilsons. Made the same point yesterday. Thanks for the validation, Dylan. Yeah, I think it's fascinating that 2 of the top prospects in this draft class, Graham's been compared by many, including McShay yesterday. I showed it on the show, to Quinnen. You brought that up. And then Matthew Golden's been comped by, I know at least Matt Miller, and I think even Daniel Jeremiah maybe had a line on this, to Garrett Wilson. So it's like, well, it's pretty good if the Jets players are being used as comps for some of the top players in this year's class.
Yeah, guys that you definitely wouldn't want to trade. People in the chat. and shout out for the super chat. Every time I see this guy's sorry, I'm getting a phone call. Every time I see this guy's name, I think it's my name just like jumbled up in my eyes, read it as Dylan, but it's not. So shout out to you. But yeah, 2 Garrett Wilsons, can't be mad at that ever.
100%. 100%. Let's see. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll take some of your calls as well with Dylan on the line as well. You know, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is basically like the process based on what they do at pick 7. So I'm going to pull up a tweet that I thought really encapsulates this kind of scenario from Connor Rogers earlier today. But essentially, say the Jets take Warren at 7. In your opinion, Dylan, knowing what you know about the draft class, what is the best way to then navigate the board at pick 42 and pick 73? And the follow-up to that is, say they take Membu at 7 or even Graham at 7. What is then the best way to navigate the board with your 2nd and 3rd round picks? Because to me, it's all connected. Like if you're doing something at 7, it directly impacts the thought process, I believe, to what you're doing with your 2nd and 3rd round picks. This was the tweet I was referencing. Connor Rogers earlier says, I'm fascinated to see the Jets process at 7, assuming both Membu and Warren are on the board. Think there are healthy arguments for each, but how high they are on day 2 of this O-line class probably dictates what they do. For example, if they view Ursary or Trapillo as viable day 2 starters, you could take Tyler Warren. So just your thoughts on that and what Connor's talking about here, how the pick at 7 then impacts your day 2 selections as well.
Yeah, and then just going back to what I said about the 4 positions that I think they need to key in on, we could just do a quick exercise. Okay, say they take Tyler Warren at 7. You have tight end obviously crossed off. I would come back and get offensive tackle at 42, and then I'd probably go defensive interior, like an Alfred Collins type in the 3rd round, and then I'd come back in the 4th round and attack wide receiver. I do think wide receiver is important, but I do think if you started hitting on picks in the 4th round, not hitting on picks, but you take a 4th round pick and a 6th round pick, like Ty Felton out of Maryland in the 6th round, and you pair him with Kyle Williams, then you have a good group and good depth at your wide receiver class as well. So you've attacked all 4 of the positions there. Now, if they take Armand Membu at 7, perhaps you come back and you do take defensive interior in the 2nd round, like Omar Norman-Lott, and then you have wide receiver. I know Isaiah Bond got into a little bit of trouble, but he's somebody projected in the 3rd round right now. And then you could come back and attack tight end like Jackson Hawes, Gunnar Helm in the 4th and 5th rounds, respectively, because you have 2 5th round picks. So I don't think there's a formula that I have not like that I've seen that I absolutely hate, unless people are just taking bad picks and bad players at those picks. So I'm just so open to all the possibilities because of the strengths and weaknesses of this class. You can really talk me into all the different ways, but I would probably like the Membu way better than Tyler Warren at 7, because I would take a 4th and a 5th round guy at tight end and be completely fine. I don't like prioritize it a ton.
Your thoughts on the Ashton Genty debate? Are the Jets going to seriously consider and maybe even take the Boise State running back?
I mean, I would hope not. Like, I don't see it. It's like team building again. Like, team building 101 does not say create a hole with one of your better players and just immediately try to fill it with what you would consider a blue chip player. And maybe it does work, and maybe an Ashton Genty replacing Breece Hall in this offense would look better and be more productive. But I just don't think for what you're going to get on a return for Breece Hall, it's worth it from a team building perspective. Now, if they say they want to keep Breece Hall on the roster for 1 year and draft Ashton Genty and then let Breece walk, I feel like the comp pick you're going to get is roughly the same as the trade value that you get from this year, is a 4. That if somebody trades you a 4th round pick in August or July, whenever you draft Ashton Genty, if somebody offers you a 4 then, or you're going to get a 3 next year, would it be more incentivized to just wait and get the 3rd round pick based on, obviously he would have to get a big contract with the second team, but I don't know, man. It doesn't make sense from a team building perspective. And I'd really have to talk myself into it and do the mental gymnastics with this roster to feasibly make it work, because I would not consider running back even a top 10 need on this roster unless you get rid of Breece Hall. So to me, making a hole to just have to fill it doesn't make sense.
I do wonder, is there any scenario where they take Genty and keep Breece? Could they have both those guys and just say, look, we're going to run the crap out of the ball. We have Justin Fields, who's elite, and we're just going to form the best rushing attack in the NFL.
Yeah, no, I definitely think it's within the realm of possibility. We saw what Detroit did with their 2-back system, and Aaron Glenn has obviously commented on the committee approach and using all their running backs. So if you're just going to add another one to the stable, yeah, and I'm an advocate of keeping all the talent you have this year. Next year, you can kind of evaluate it a little bit better. You saw what they did in your scheme, and then yeah, if you don't want to re-up Breece Hall's contract, then you let him walk next year. I don't think trading him this year makes the most sense to me, even if you do draft Genty. I would just keep both and see what happens. Maybe, somebody gets desperate at the trade deadline and you're realizing that Genty's workload is going to surpass Breece's anyway. So, yeah, there's a world I could see it happening. It's a very slim chance, but, I mean, just keep and acquire all the talent you can for as long as you can to evaluate it the best that you possibly can.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line, and they support the show, baby. Big fella with a super chat. Thank you, big fella. If Dylan Sampson lasts to the 4th, we need to take him to compete with Allen and Davis. Dante Thornton is intriguing too. Go Balls, baby. I'm a homer.
I have not done any work on Sampson. Again, like I was just saying with running back, I'm not going to spend weeks watching running backs if I don't even think the Jets are going to prioritize one till day 3. I've done the Genty stuff for the most part. I haven't given him a grade, but he's the only running back. I haven't even watched Amarion Hampton enough to say with any knowledge about him. I would be intrigued, but I don't think it goes further than that. Dante Thornton, I was sent a cut up video of him and I watched it. It was just I think 3 games in the cut up. If it's not a slant, a post, or a streak,
Uh-oh. Did we lose Dylan? Or am I the one who got knocked off the air? And I'm talking to nobody right now. No, I think I'm on the air. I think we lost Dylan, though. Dylan got knocked out. Dylan, call back when your internet is fixed. I'm still here, though, baby. I'm here. I'm not leaving. To quote Jordan Belfort, I'm not having to leave. All right, the show must go on. Hit the like button. Comments, questions, super chats will, in fact, cut the line. Let me say this. This show's available in podcast form. You can get the show on both Apple and Spotify. Just search Jake Asman Show. It comes right up. Take the show on the go. Spread the word to your favorite Jet fans in your life that, hey, if you want to experience the Jake Asman Show as a podcast, now you can. In addition to what we do every day live on YouTube twice a day at 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, and then typically a show on Saturday and Sunday. I mean, find me the channel that's giving you more Jets content than this one. Ladies and gentlemen, let's say hello right now to our first caller as we hopefully get Dylan back with us when his internet gets fixed. Let's say hello to PBM, who starts us off. What's up, Mike?
Yo, what's up?
How are you?
So I wanted to call in earlier today, but I couldn't get on. But I think Shador might go to the Raiders. Because think about it. Gino really has a 2-year deal, and you can get Shador, acclimated to the NFL. So I think if he falls, he doesn't fall past 6. They're not going to take Genti over a quarterback, which would be a need that they have. And then the other thing I wanted to point out, someone said you don't take a wide receiver 2 at 7, and I think that's BS. If T. Higgins was on a redraft, he would go top 10. Just because you have Jamar Chase doesn't mean T. Higgins is not a good number 2, as he's a 1 on most teams.
Well, there's varying levels to this, right? Like, if your projection for the receiver you're taking at 7 is you think he's only like what your typical number 2 is, you wouldn't take him at 7. If your projection for the guy is that he's a 1, but on the Jets he'd be a 2, there's no shame in that because Garrett Wilson would be a 1 on a lot of teams in the league. So it's the evaluation level you like. What's the grade you have on that wide receiver versus the other wide receivers? And compare to previous years, what's the grade you had on them, and determine whether or not you think the guy's worth the top 7 pick. That's what you're judging.
Yeah. So then I agree, because it's the same thing that the Vikings did when they had Addison and Jefferson.
Correct.
Like, Addison is really a 1, but he's a 2 because of Jefferson.
I mean, the Dolphins had Waddle, then they added Tyreek Hill. It's worked.
Yeah. I was wondering, too, when he comes back on, Buka, if you could ask him what he thinks about him, because I think
Emeka Ibuka.
Yeah, I think he's going to be awesome, but I don't think he falls to the second round. So
No.
I don't know if we'll get him. I think the only way we'll get him is a trade back, which I
Or
wouldn't
trade
mind
up.
do. Or we could trade up. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true too. My dog is crying for a treat. Here you go, baby.
Yeah, give her that treat. She deserves it. Who does she want at 7 for the Jets?
She wants Warren.
She's a Warren whisperer.
Yeah, he's a Warren whisperer. But
Love it. Well,
Yeah.
Mike, you have a hell of a day, all right?
all right, see you, brother.
Purple Belt Mike, everybody. Keep your calls coming. Hopefully Dylan gets back on with us. His internet, he just moved, so he had some sort of issue with his internet. We're working on getting Dylan back with us to take some calls with him. But in the meantime, let's say hello to Hep, who's next. What's up, Hep?
How you doing, Jake? I'm really like Golden. I think he pairs up well with Fields. We talk about Fields' leg all the time, but he has a really strong arm as well. And with that sub 4.3 speed, he can just stretch the field, Golden. Now I'm curious, when do you think he may go? How far back do we have to go? And what would the compensation be?
So I think a team, you're saying if the Jets themselves decided to move back from 7?
Yeah, how far back? Let's say Golden would be at 15. Let's say we trade back to 15. What would we get back in return for that?
Well, let's see who's at 15, because then I could try and put together like a fake trade deal just to kind of get an idea. So that'd be Atlanta. So Atlanta has what picks this year? They have 15, they have 46, and then they don't have a 3rd round pick. Their next pick is 118 in the 4th round. I mean, if I'm moving back from 7, I'm getting Atlanta's 2nd round pick this year, and I'm getting their 2nd round pick next year if I'm moving back from 7 to 15.
That's a nice little haul, right?
At least. Yeah, I would probably do that because I'm still getting a good player at 15, and I'm being armed with a pick for next year that I could dangle in a move up if I got to go get my quarterback.
Yeah.
And I'm getting an extra top, let's see what their 2nd round pick is, pick number 4. I'm getting an extra top 50 pick. So then I'd have 15, I'd have 42, 46, and 73. Pretty good way to build your roster.
Yeah. Also, the wideout is such a premium position as well, And like you said, if G-Dub goes down, we're really lost in the sauce,
And by the way, there is a chance that Tyler Warren is there at 15. Now, I think Indy probably would take him at 14, What if they like Colston Loveland, right? Or they take one of the tight ends. The Jets could take the other.
Right.
I think they're in a spot where maybe the player they would have taken at 7 actually could still be there at 15, depending on who it is.
That would be a mind blower, boy. All right, Jake. Peace out, man.
Hep, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Today's Jake Asman Show is presented by Chubbies.
For over a decade, we've been perfecting the perfect length, fit, and feel of shorts. We said no to shorts that fit weird, look weird, and smell weird. You know who you are. Our shorts make every weekday feel like the weekend. Why? Because every weekend is freedom and relaxation. Your thighs should get that 7 days a week. These are the shorts that changed shorts. Chubbies, proper length men's shorts.
Chubbies is awesome. Shout out to them for being a part of our show. And shout out to Purple Belt Mike. He actually bought Chubby shorts using promo code Jake Asman over the weekend. He didn't just buy any shorts, by the way. They have Jet shorts. That's right. They have an entire NFL line now with Chubbies. So, Jet fans, I'm telling you, promo code Jake Asman. Get set for spring. Get set for the summer. Today's actually a really nice day weather-wise in the New York area, which is great to see. But Chubby shorts, check it out. You see it up there on the website. Go to chubbyshorts.com. Right when you get to the website, put in Jets in the search box. You'll see the Jet shorts there for you. Use that promo code. It is promo code Jake Asman, and you will save. You see it there on the screen. 20% off your shorts. They're awesome. In fact, I got Chubby sending me a couple pairs for myself. They have them with the new logo, a.k.a. the old throwback logo, which is now permanent, and they got great Hawaiian-style Chubby Jet shirts as well. So check it out. Really, really cool stuff for all the Jet fans out there. Chubby Shorts, support them because they support me. Shout out to Chubbies for being a part of our show. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. We are awaiting Dylan. But in the meantime, let's go international. To Finland we go. Australian Jet fan is with us. What's up, AJF?
Hi, Jake. I just wanted to say that, like, I just really don't think that the Jets are trading Quinnen or Breece Hall. Like, I just can't see it at all. Like, I think if they were to actually do it, they would be, hitting the hard rebuild button. Because you don't just trade away your, like, franchise pieces if you're trying to build something. You know what I mean? Like, I'm seeing all this everywhere, Jets trade Breece Hall and stuff, but like everyone said, we have so many holes. It just doesn't make sense. You don't go and you don't sign Justin Fields for $30 million if you're not trying to compete. You know what I mean?
I think they think Fields can give them a chance to be their quarterback of the future, and they're going to try and win as many games as possible. So, yes. Now, the Breece conversation, I wouldn't trade him, but at least the argument is, hey, last year of his deal, maybe they just don't believe in him. But then I'd say his value is really low. Let's see what he could do. Maybe you have more of a running back by committee approach. But the idea that a competent offensive staff can't find a role for a guy that in 2023, not, in 2015, like 2 years ago, was second in the NFL at his position in yards per scrimmage, to me, that's insane to fathom. So I'm hoping that part of the Breece stuff kind of lights a fire under his ass, and he goes out there highly motivated to have this great season for them.
Like, he's low-key our second best receiver at the moment as well. Like, for me, it makes zero sense moving him on for Genty. I just can't see a world where the Jets take Ashton Genty. I think they're either going to take one of the tackles or Tyler Warren, and if not, then I think they're definitely going to trade back. I just think Aaron Glenn in this regime, I don't think they're going to go for a hard rebuild. If anything, I think it's going to be a soft one and just sort of try and build what we already have rather than, start over.
I agree. I think the key is there's a lot more talent here than previous times. A new regime has come in, and we're used to, like, the rebuild, this and that. Like, when Joe Douglas was hired and then eventually Robert Saleh got here, they were coming off a 2-win season. When Mike McCagnon took over in 2015 with Todd Bowles, they were coming off a nightmarish 2014 4-win season in 2014. And the roster wasn't that good. They didn't have a quarterback. They didn't have a lot of playmakers. They didn't have an O-line in place. Like, it was the tail end of Mangold and DeBrickashaw Ferguson. Like, there were so many more issues with those teams. This team that Muji and Glenn inherited, they got some real talent on it. You know, they won 7 games 2 seasons ago without a quarterback. Last year, they led the NFL in blown fourth quarter losses. Like, I bring that up because you can't blow the lead in the fourth quarter that many times if you didn't have enough talent to have the lead in the fourth quarter in the first place. So, to me, it's all about coaching. And if the coaching's great, this team could be better than many think.
Do you reckon it's just the media trying to find headlines, just making all this trade shit up?
Well, I think it depends on which players you're talking about. I think some of it is like just conjecture. Some of it is just fan speculation. There's no actual report the Jets are shopping Brees or Quinnen or Quincy or any of the guys people have mentioned.
Especially like Quinnen, that like Brees Hall, like I could see from a certain perspective, like we have so many holes. We need more picks. We have Braylon Allen. We have Davis, you know. But like just getting rid of Quinnen, that would be just like absolute blasphemy for me. I just can't see a world where that happens.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to trade Quinnen Williams. I'd be shocked.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for having me on the show.
Hold on, I'm not letting you go yet. JJ said next caller, please. I won't be strong armed, JJ. In fact, you know what? I'm actually stepping down. This is now the AJF show. AJF, all you.
All right, hey guys, hold on. Let me just get the chat up. All right, let's see what the comments are saying. Must be a slowdown. The calling line. Hang up. Quinnen is a combo for next year's trade block. I mean, I guess we could see how long he has. I mean, he's a good player. I just can't see them trading him. I think with the regime we have, the players we have, I think we're building. I don't think we're going to be given any of this up. The AJF show, you know it, 3 siblings. We're taking this one down under. AJF versus JJ. Is JJ worth my time? Probably not. Would I sign AVT Long? Probably not. I still think that he's got a while. Turn on my lights. Look, now I don't want to turn on my lights. So, you know, just because I'm a nice guy, I'm gonna do it anyway because this is the AJF show, and you know we gotta get you know, keep up the quality. Can't wait to buy me a beer. I can't wait for you to buy me a beer as well, Purple Bell Mike, because I'm definitely 21 years of age. I need to buy a pet kangaroo and name it Jet. In Australia, you don't need to buy a pet kangaroo. You just find one. They're everywhere. Well, not really everywhere. You know, I speak to a lot of people. They think that we just have like kangaroos everywhere, but seeing a kangaroo in Australia is like the same as like seeing like a deer in like America. Like if you go out into like the forest or the bush, as we call it in Australia, like you'll find one, but you know, on the street in the suburbs or a city, you're not seeing kangaroo. Crazy sunshine vibes. Remember the Titans? Just I actually haven't seen that. I know it's an American staple, but like I'm not American Bonesy. Maybe I have to watch it. The biggest homers by far. Australian Jets fans are the biggest homers. Like you mean like Homer Simpson? A must watch. I'll take that into account. Did I meet a lovely lady? I wouldn't say I met a lovely lady. I did go there to meet a lovely lady though. I am coming to the draft party in the Jets. If you are, I'll see you there. I'm very, very, very excited to see what the Jets are going to do. You know, my first experience with a bunch of Americans, my first experience in America. It's going to be quite exciting. JJ is the worst caller. I mean, that's up for debate. I'm not going to disagree with you. He does. Did I get catfished? No. I've met this person before, and yeah, I was meeting her again. Can I send you $700? The financial institution is broke. Look, I've got a guy for that. I don't really send people money. You know, like I don't like to really send money I don't have. I only send money if it's a super chat to the now Australian Jet fan. So I've never been to a strip club, King Lowski. That's not me. Yeah, I just not a fan. It's not something I really need to do. And I don't pay to get into clubs.
Bravo, AJF. Well done, sir. Now that's how you do it, people. When we hand the reins over to someone, we need them to bring it. And I thought you brought it today, AJF. Nicely done.
Cheers, Jake. Appreciate it.
Great job, man. All right. I'll see you soon. I'll see you in 9 days. Can't wait.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Love it.
JETS. Jets.
AJF checking in. Ladies and gentlemen, T Swizzle somehow became a member twice. I don't know. I'm rolling with it. That's 2 raffle entries in my book. T Swizzle, thank you, man. We've been light on the memberships the last couple of days, so appreciate you. You're in the raffle for not 1, but 2. Also, I'm adding another prize right now, as per request by multiple Jet fans out there. All right, our theme this week is Jets first-round picks. So what I have right here is a request from the 80s Jet fan specifically. Ladies and gentlemen, a signed jersey by number 7, Ken O'Brien signed jersey added to the next Asmaniac raffle that features now a signed Keyshawn Johnson mini helmet, a signed Altoon helmet, a signed Sauce Gardner jersey, and now a signed Kenny O jersey. So, where are my 80s Jet fans at? Let's go, baby. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Look who's back on the line. Dylan is back with us. Dylan, the internet monster got you.
Dude, no, the Apple monster got me. My laptop told me it was charged, and I had it plugged in, and all of a sudden, I'm in the middle of talking about Deontay Thornton not running a full route tree, and I get cut out and kicked to the moon. So, you know how Apple is. I'm not sure if you are an Apple user, but they take forever to turn on after they die. So I'm literally been sitting here watching a black screen, pounding my desk to like work faster. So yeah, we're back. Deontay Thornton, not a full route tree runner. Dylan Sampson, not knowledgeable to talk about enough running backs yet. So appreciate the super chat.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gator McCluskey loves Kenny O. He just gifted 5 channel memberships. Gator's first quarterback growing up. Sound the alarm. Michael Kaislin, Minnesota Jet fan, DJ Jet84, Jess, and Castaway Jet all receiving channel memberships courtesy of Gator McCluskey. All right, let's get to more of your calls here now that we got Dylan back with us. Let's say hello to the great Kyle Clifton. Speaking of 80s Jets, hello, Kyle.
Yeah. What's going on, fellas? I'm glad that it was an Apple issue for Dylan because I was afraid it was a South Carolina issue. That's where I'm trying to get to eventually.
No problems with South Carolina, honestly. Not yet. I mean, it's beautiful so far.
Awesome. So, actually, I was talking in the Discord with the big fella about Thornton the other day because he's a big Tennessee guy. And he felt like it was a lot of the limitations that he was encountering had to do with the quarterback's limitations. And since, he's a huge traits guy, when he's probably going to go a little bit earlier than people kind of suspect.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a guy to definitely keep your eyes on because, if you feel like the wide receiver room is bare, you got to take a flyer in the mid rounds on some of these trait guys and hope that you can develop them and coach them up, and maybe getting a real quarterback and just having the presence of someone who's that big and that fast on the outside can really start to change the dynamic of your offense if he can take to the coaching. I just wanted to like you kind of got cut off a little bit before, Dylan.
Yeah,
I didn't know if you wanted to expound a little bit more on Thornton because I was really interested in that part of it.
I'm glad you brought up that because it made me think of 2 former Tennessee wide receivers, Jalen Hyatt and Cedric Tillman. And I liked Cedric Tillman a lot. So like if you're going to, talk of Deontay Thornton in the same way that, Cedric Tillman was talked about in his pre-draft process, and I could get on board with that for sure. And not running a full route tree doesn't make you a bad wide receiver. Definitely not. I'm surprised to hear you say about the quarterback, though, because wasn't this kid like supposedly really good in Tennessee? The kid that just transferred? Jake, you know his last name off the top of your head.
It's
I don't
this guy
know.
Nico that's been in the news, and I was leaning on the big fella because he's a big Tennessee guy to
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of get his impressions. But like, you can't coach that kind of speed.
Yep.
That's kind of why we're in the Justin Fields business, right?
Mhm.
It's just a matter of like, I was reading some of the scouting reports online with the Athletic and some of these other publications, and what I wasn't seeing is he can't get off the line, and he had bad hands. So that's something that was like, well, then maybe he's a wide receiver that just hasn't fully realized his potential yet.
Right.
That's all I had. I wanted to kind of follow up on that, and the timing was fortuitous that you were able to get back on. I appreciate the time, fellas.
Absolutely.
Kyle, you're the man. We appreciate your calls as always.
PBM said to remind you to ask me about Igbuka that we talked about yesterday when I put it in the chat.
Yes,
So,
Emeka Ibuka. I like him. Your thoughts?
I took some notes on what I think about the Igbuka.
Here we go. Full screen, Dylan. We're giving you the professor treatment here. Lecture us. Break it down.
If Igbuka slides to the second round, this is only the second round. I'm not trading up into the first round, but to 33 specifically. Currently, the Cleveland Browns own that pick. It's worth 580 points. The Jets' 42nd overall pick is worth 480 points. And this is using the draft tech. I think it's the Jimmy Johnson value chart, the most or I guess like the original. Some people use different ones, but it's only a difference of 100 points. So you package 42, 110, and 162. And it's a technical overpay by 0.6 points. So it's probably as close to a sure even trade from a points value chart. Now, do the Cleveland Browns think that the 33rd overall pick is worth more than just a 0.6 overpay? That's possible too. I do think because of anybody who slides could be that guy. But if I'm the Jets, I am doing this. I understand we want a lot of draft picks. We want to probably get up to double-digit draft picks if we can for Muji's first draft. But if you were to just hypothetically get Armand Membu at 7, and then you trade back up for Emeka Igbuka, I think your offense has now just done a complete 180, and now you have almost all your pieces. And they're relatively young at all these spots too. So I'm a big proponent of trading up. I don't know if I'd go all the way into the first round, but definitely 33, man. Like, I would be so into that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the professor, Dylan Tereman, breaking it down. I'm with you. I like him a lot. No one's talking about it. The Jets could move up. Like, pick 42 is a high enough pick where you could easily move up. If there's someone that they had a first-round grade on that's there at the beginning of day 2, why not?
Yeah, and I'll even double down and say that 42, although I would not do it, I would see how they can justify taking a swing at quarterback. I'm not saying I would do it. I would take somebody, again, who would probably start immediately. But say they took Jalen Milroe or Will Howard or Jackson Dart if you were to fall to 42. I think they could justify it, and I would be okay with it for the future and the long-term ramifications of the draft. Because even if you hit on a Will Howard or a Jalen Milroe in the second round, but it doesn't really pay off till the start of 2027, you've still found a quarterback. So as long as it's not a Hackenberg type situation where the kid just never sees the field, I can be swung and swayed and justified into taking a quarterback at 42.
Ladies and gentlemen, earlier I told you about Chubbies. They have NFL licensed apparel now. Take a look at these Jet shorts. Promo code Jake Asman, 20% off. Be like PBM. Look at these. They got the shirts. You got the shorts. The swim trunks, as my grandma used to call them back in the day. Check it out. Awesome stuff. Chubbies. Their shorts are great. Bathing suits. All of it. Chubbyshorts.com. Promo code Jake Asman, 20% off. Get yourself set up. I can see Neil, by the way, rocking this shirt. This is a Neil shirt if I've ever
100%.
seen one. My God.
And he's got a parade of guys at the resort chanting JETS behind him.
That's right. That's right. How about 5 raffle entries for an esteemed member of the 4.5% female demo? JoJo in the raffle for 5. Thank you, JoJo. PBM, ladies and gentlemen, he's in the raffle for 5 as well. Also, if you add Revis, I'll drop a 50 on the spot. Whoa. Looks like I got to see what Darrell Revis memorabilia I could find. PBM wants Revis. The Bat Fella checks in. Dylan, I sense foul play with your computer. I will bring the perpetrator to justice. I smell criminality everywhere.
Bat Fella might be onto something here.
Big fella / bad fella. We love you. My brother's watching. Shout out, Grandma. Yeah, my brother got that reference. That's good. Mike says, can't wait to rock my chubs. Amen. Amen. The chubs will look good on you, Mike.
Careful with that one.
I don't know. The chubs will look good on Mike. I'm all about it. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. I think it's time we check in with a member of this show that is beloved by some, perhaps detested by others. But either way, it's his time to shine right now.
Right now, we're getting some gabagool. If you really want some gabagool, you got to come get the gabagool. Catch you later.
Beast?
I'm okay. I just saw planets right now in space.
What did you say?
I thought I saw a planet in space. Oof. Oof. Oof.
You look good today, Beast.
Hell, I just downed 5 tacos right now.
Really?
Pork chop tacos, my friend. The best.
How come?
Hey, it's Tuesday. Do you know what Tuesday is?
Taco Tuesday.
Tacos.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, you know what? I got pork chops in the fridge. I'm like, you know what? Go get those suckers and get them on going. Do I look like I'm on mushrooms there, Gary King? I don't do mushrooms. That's for low IQ morons with no brains. I don't do that sort of crap. I don't like mushrooms. Ugh, disgusting.
And what'd you put on your tacos?
I go with, here's what I do with my tacos. I do the Gordon Ramsay way. We cook the tacos first. We put the sour cream at the bottom first. That's your number one starter there. Then you chop lettuce. Chop it all up, get it prepared. Don't overdo it. Just sprinkle it on very little. Then you go with your meat. Make sure you cut it up not too big, just slightly at an angle and cut it. Then line it up. Then put your cheese on and then go with hot sauce. Man's taco, baby. Now that's called manpower. Now these draft picks, I'm not too sure, but I've already made my point that we're going to get Campbell, Membu, and Warren at all three.
All three.
We're going with all three. But
now how do the Jets pull that off, Beast? Because typically those guys are all going to be gone by the top 10.
A pair first.
Okay.
Common sense. Common sense is number one key to bringing it together. To make it together, you got to watch those draft picks closely. I don't want those bum Patriots taking our boys. They already took a couple of our boys. How about Michael Clemens? Has he been fired yet?
No, he's still on the team.
How about the Patriots could take him for we can start at $10,000. That's the lowest we could go.
Hey, Beast, you could draft one: Muhammad, Jesus, or Moses. Who are you drafting?
Ooh. Now this is going to be a curveball to throw with. Well, in the words of the Doc ML Brown, if my calculations are correct, we're going to go with Moses, number 3.
I think Moses would be the best football player, Beast. I'd put him at tailback. He'd part the Red Sea. He'd part defenders like the Red Sea, I should say.
I see that. That's very good. Now, who's this little fella? I want to say hi to this guy that we're talking to, this Mr. Dylan. Good afternoon there, Mr. Dylan. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing good for a little fella.
Well, hey, your draft picks. Show me those draft picks that you have. Show me those draft picks.
Show them to you?
Yeah, I want to see the draft picks. Bring them up front here. I want to take a good look, and I want to make sure, and I'm going to be eyeballing every single one of them from top to bottom. And if they're good, then they get a pass. If they don't look good, you know where they go. Into the chute. And you know what I mean by down into the chute. Show me the draft picks. Show me.
All right. I think the only three picks you could say are Campbell, Membu, and Warren. Those are the only 3 you could possibly make. I mean, I'm in agreement with you.
That basically sounds fair because I'm not giving these three up now, and we're not trading.
No, there's
three
no way
spots.
they don't become Jets, in my opinion, too. There's no way. No, you have to get them all.
Mason Graham, I'm not too sure yet. Let's not start jumping bullets yet. That's not we're not going to go that route yet. No, not a smart choice, not a smart move. Maybe if other teams could take them, maybe the Raiders or the Browns or anybody else, that's fine. We got our guys. We got how many running backs? We got about 3 or 4. We're fine. We just need to learn to control ourselves and learn to play the damn game. Like, for example, you seen me do the defense and the offense the other day, right?
I don't believe I did, but I trust it was good.
For example, if you want to do the 4-3, this is what you have to do. You need 4 big dudes in the line, so when you hold them, you got to push back. You can't, because last year, did you see how many penalties we had last year on the New York Jets? How many did we have last year?
I don't know off the top of my head, but it was an egregious amount, sure.
Egregious amount? Oh, you want to talk about egregious? They were insane. Most of those calls were horse garbage. We weren't even playing like a damn team. We were chickens with our heads cut off. It was an embarrassment. I'm sitting there, every game I'm watching, I'm just going, what the hell are you doing? You're not supposed to be face masking. You cannot be face masking. That's gonna lead us to a disaster. And then last year, 6 missed field goals. I was watching it. I couldn't watch it anymore. That's why I was like, turn this channel off. I couldn't watch that shit. I can't stand that. That's why we need a new kicker too. And I kind of make a suggestion. Roseanne, sweetheart. Greg Zuerlein is not the best kicker. The guy couldn't even figure out what his credit card was or even his legs were at. The guy has the brains of 2 left feet. He has no clue who he is. He's a putz. If you want kickers, you go to Mexico or you go here in the United States. There's plenty of them out there. There's hundreds of kickers that we can get. We can just take a look around. It's not this difficult. It's not rocket science. It's simple mathematical stuff. It's very easy. I mean, mathematical was one of my favorites for school. History was one of my favorites. PE was another one of my favorites. But what we need to do is calm down, play the damn game right. And like Herman Edwards once said, you learn to play the game and win the game. Not hard. It's not hard. Sure, we get up, we go to work, we eat 3 good meals, take 1 good shit, go back to bed, and do whatever we have to do. That's not rocket science. That's simple, easy, right off the head, mathematical science. It's brains. And no, I'm not going to make any Hispanic jokes. No, I'm not sorry. I'm not going to be doing that. No. I have a lot of respect towards the
Breaking sports news on the Jake Asman Show.
What the hell? What was that? A newspaper? Because thank you, Barbarossa. You play to win the game. Oh, no. God, no. I'm not seeing this with my very eyes. Greg Zuerlein through a 3-year contract. Oh, I'll tell you what, Roseanne. I'm going to tell you what. If he doinks the bar 3 straight times, that's it. The guy has to go. Let me just say this. We're crazy in New York. You know why we're crazy? Because we can play hard, we live hard, and we die hard. We got the Atlantic Ocean. We got the craziest winds in the world. We have Lady Liberty. We got Madison Square Garden. We got Radio City. We also have the greatest pizza, the greatest sandwiches, and the greatest people on this sticky planet, and we're not going to lay down. I'm not going to lay down for nobody, especially not all of us, and not the Asmaniacs. We're not laying down.
Breaker 666. He's the man who would kick your ass, and then he gobble-goo.
Man, a lot of salient points made today by Beast, huh, Dylan?
100%. I'm glad his draft board aligns with mine. I mean, you just got to get all the guys. I 100% agree. I would recommend keeping the bottle of Tabasco away from the ayahuasca so you don't get them confused and start seeing space planets outside your window. So yeah, we're good with Beast.
Well, it's interesting. We've been debating for months, us as Jet fans. Hey, do you take Warren? Do you take Membu? Do you take Graham? Beast is probably smarter than all of us. Just take all three.
He's watched the draft day movie enough times. He's going to be able to swindle the board. He'll get it done.
Now, I need someone watching live to go rewind and get me the exact quote that Beast referenced that he thought Herm Edwards said. So
you play to learn the game, to win the game.
I'd like to put Beast's quote of that on a T-shirt. So I'm going to need to know what he said specifically. So if someone could rewind and write in the chat what the exact quote was, that'd be spectacular. On that note, last chance here to get in with Dylan. Comments, questions, super chats. I also have open phone lines. So if none of you call back in, this is what I'm doing immediately. So that's your warning. Call back in. Anyway, let me ask you this, Dylan. Gun to your head. Jets on the clock at 7. Who are they taking 9 days out? What's your feel?
Can you lay out the first 6 picks for me so I have some context so I don't just because I can put them in order for you, but I can't just pick one person then.
Let's say Graham is not on the board.
Okay.
Warren is, Membu is, Campbell's already gone.
Campbell's gone too. Okay.
Campbell's gone. It's Membu and Warren. They're there.
Are the top guys. Okay. Yeah, I'd probably go Membu. And then, like I said, I would probably, maybe go tight end round 2 in that situation. Go D-line 3 in that situation, then wide receiver in the 4th round. I don't know. I like Tyler Warren. I'm about to do the tape study on him tonight and get a final grade on him because I wanted to grade out all the realistic possibilities for the Jets. But dude, I can't get past Armand Membu's elite foot speed. He gets to the spot quicker than most of these tackles. His tenacity at times, it's not consistent tenacity, but I do like when he does have the tenacity because it proves that it's in him. And I feel like the model is always you'd rather rein him in than have to kick him in the ass to get him to go. And I think, especially in the Oklahoma game, that was somebody must have did something to him pregame from Oklahoma to make him that mad, because on the first snap, he pancaked the second level defender and didn't look back. Every time the ref was probably about a foot away from him when he stopped blocking. He was just a man on a mission that game. So if he can bring that type of energy, I'm totally cool with it. But yeah, I'm going to always choose the premium position over the lesser premium position. I don't consider tight end close to a premium position, although he is probably a very good player. And like I said at the top, this is the 7th overall pick, the 3rd highest pick on our team currently. I know Zach Wilson was the 2nd, but he's not here. So you have Sauce, Quinnen, and then whoever it is at 7. Go get a premium guy, and I could justify if he is average. And if you get an average tight end, dude, and you're paying him top 5 money out the gates, it's not a good look.
Well said. Sam, I apologize. This got sandwiched in between some memberships and super chats, so I missed it. Do you think we need a corner in the later rounds? Have you seen Darian Porter, Iowa, or Zoff Frazier, UTSA?
So before free agency, I loved mocking a corner at 42 just to have fun, like Savone Ravel from Eastern Carolina, the guy coming off the ACL. Darian Porter, I believe he was a Senior Bowl guy, so I got eyes on him. Combine monster, by the way. Zoff Frazier, not too familiar with. I believe he's projected day 3. And if that's where they want to take a swing at cornerback, I'm sure if they want to use their 2nd, 5th, or one of their 2 6th-round picks, that's fine. I hope they don't do the lull you to sleep Joe Douglas trade around the board on day 3. And when they traded back and got, out of the top 150 and then ended up with Jordan Travis at 171, I was very unenthused by all those trades that didn't net them a lot of good picks. So if they are going to do that, just at least attack depth, and corner would be one of those spots. But Darian Porter, dude, is probably a 3rd round pick in my opinion, maybe even higher. I know PFF, and that's just Sycamores board, but PFF has him in the top 50, top 60. So I don't see a range where he's there for us unless it's 73, and that's kind of a not filling a need position right there. But Zoff Frazier, yeah, probably a day 3 guy you could take in the 5th round.
Dylan, before you go, we have the exact quote from Beastbreaker. Herm Edwards said, "You play to win the game." Beastbreaker said, you learn to play the game and win the game. It's not hard.
The it's not hard part is I think what everybody needs to focus in on, because it's really not. You get Graham, you get Membu, you get Warren, you go to the Super Bowl, man. We get Beast out of the attic.
Well, hold on. I'm actually just seeing this. Boomtown says you learn to play the game and win the game. We need the exact quote. Now, Barbarossa says that's the quote I just watched. So we have two slightly different versions of the Beastbreaker quote here that we need to get to the bottom of.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head exactly what it was, but damn, dude, he butchered it. I was ready for the quote because I always get fired up when I hear Herm say it, but Beast didn't bring that same gumption with it.
Hello, you play to win the game. Yeah, well said. Dylan, you're the man. I'm glad that the move went well, all things considered. I know there was a hiccup a couple days there with your furniture, but the new setup looks great, and I'm filling it on radio next week till 3 p.m. So I'm hoping we can get you on the day before the draft, but it might be a little bit later than our normal time. So I'll reach out to you in advance.
Yeah, not a problem, and I'm glad that you didn't give Gator the picture of what my setup looked like before I had all this, because Gator would have had a damn field day with my ass. So, yeah, I appreciate you, man. And, yeah, if we don't catch up before the draft, we'll definitely get after the draft, and I'll give you all my breakdowns on all the picks.
100%. Well, I'll be live all weekend, so we'll get you on the
oh, yeah, dude. I'll be jumping around all weekend. I'm supposed to be doing Jet Nation stuff. I'm sure I'll be doing stuff with Buffalo. I think a couple other people have reached out. Shout out to, I think it's Johnny Boy in the chat. I'm going on his pod on Friday, so shout out to Johnny Boy. So, yeah, I'll be around. That's why I'm here. I needed this setup for the draft, and we got it. So I appreciate you, Jake. Appreciate everybody in the chat.
Dylan Tereman with us. Excellent job. Talking Jets, talking draft. Great spot there. Barbarossa says, just watched it again. Please don't make me do it again. He says you learn to play the game and win the game. Not hard. It's not hard. That's what we're going with. That is the official quote. Dylan going on Jets Worldwide on Friday. I bought a Jets Worldwide shirt yesterday. Had to support Johnny and Snowball. You learn to play the game and win the game. Not hard. It's not hard. Now what we need is Gator to take this quote, superimpose Beast up at the podium over Herm Edwards, and recreate the moment. Oh, my God. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Our prizes in the raffle this week. Sauce Gardner signed jersey. Al Toon signed helmet. Keyshawn Johnson signed helmet. And a signed New York Jets jersey by quarterback Ken O'Brien, number 7, added to the list of raffle prizes. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. There is currently no one on hold right now. How does that happen? And then when I need to end the show, there's 70 people on hold. And I feel guilty that people waited on hold and I couldn't get to everyone. So I stay on, destroy my bladder, and get through the show. But right now, there's no one. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say a quote. You guys have heard this before. You learn to play the game and win the game. Not hard. It's not hard. Beast, what do you say?
Oh, how you guys doing? I'm all right. I'm doing good. Just doing a little catch-up review, and I'm still sticking with my 3 picks. I'm not trading, and I'm not changing it. Sorry, no change, no go. Barbarossa, I like your quote. It's very good. It's spontaneous. One of these days, if I ever get a chance to make my own chocolate bar, it's gonna be the Beastbreaker Special Bar. You want a man's bar? Come to get the man's bar. And we're not going to change for nobody. We're going to play hard. We're going to live hard. You're going to die hard. And if you're bleeding, so what? We'll get you off the field. We'll wash you up. And we'll tape you up. And we'll get you back onto the battlefield. It doesn't matter how much pain you can take. We're not going to go down swinging. We're going to come out swinging. We're going to come out fighting. If we're going to be like what we did in the 90s, we're going to hit again. This time we're going to play smart. Aaron Glenn is a smart man and a smart, wise man. See, I like his quotes. He was with the Jets in 1995. No, Mr. Brigger, I generally cook. Whatever's available is available. Now back to Aaron Glenn.
Would you silence, or should I do one of these?
Beast, thank you very much. All right, more of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, let's say hello to a guy that we respect on this show. He's someone that I thought had a great chance to cut down the nets and win as Maniac Madness. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the music.
When he's home, his bell is on the bed. That's what feels good. On the road, his bell is on the bed. In a dirty hotel room. He calls the show, his bell is on the bed. He's just more comfortable. He got a beard, loves the jets, super jets. When the big fella sleeps alone, there's no room on his bed. Well, that's a big fella.
Hey, what's up?
Big fella, how are we?
How's it going, man? Doing good. I'm on vacation right now down in South Jersey, so it's fun. It's relaxing. Not much is open, but it's a good time. It's a good time. I had a question for Beast. How did he become a Jet fan?
It's a great question. Should we bring him on and ask?
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, because he's from Illinois, I guess, right?
Studying the tape again, Beast? Beast? Rick Kent's not happy with you, big fella. Beast?
Yes, we do. My legend friend. Yes, we do.
Hey, big fella, how you doing, Chief? I was just checking up on some work there and doing a little things here and there. How you feeling? I'm just trying to.
I'm good. How did you become a Jet fan? That's what I want to know.
At age 13, I was watching. My first eyes were okay. Glenn Foley. The first guy I was watching Glenn, I'm going, okay, this Glenn Foley guy, how good is he? At first I was lukewarm to the idea. I started watching it, going, okay, this guy's pretty good. He got some balls. But we lost to San Francisco. We lost to Baltimore. But then Game 3, you bring Vintage Vinny in. This man was a weapon of destruction. I knew where Vinny was from. He played with Tampa. He played with Cleveland. Played with Baltimore. Played and I seen the guy play. I'm like, the guy had some balls. And then all of a sudden, we kicked the crap out of the Indianapolis Colts, 44-6. I said, Jesus Christ, holy cow! We gave the Colts the worst bitch slapping in United States history. And then as time goes on, we started dominating the scene. And Bill Parcells said these quote words: "Now we look like a football team that has the word ass kicking all over it." We weren't the team to be played with. The '98 Jets were the most scariest, toughest, meanest, and we were not the team to be tested. Sure, many of the other teams wanted to test us, but you know what? Like Scott Hall once said, and I'm going to say this in a quote: "Don't sing it, just bring it."
Breaker 666, he's the man who would kick your ass, and then he'd gobble-goo.
I hope you got what you wanted there, big fella. Did you get your questions answered?
I got what I wanted, man. Yeah, absolutely. Now, getting to the draft, where are you leaning right now?
What I would do or what I think they're going to do?
What would you do? If you were GM, what would you do?
I would take Tyler Warren.
Okay, I'm sort of in the same boat. I'm in the same boat. I would like to trade back, but if we had to pick, if there were no takers, I would take Tyler Warren also. I don't think we need a first rounder at every position on the O-line.
What I think they're going to do, I think they're going to take Membu if he's there.
Yeah. I mean, probably. I mean, we'll see. But yeah. I mean, Membu. I watched a lot of SEC games, and I don't remember him being talked about. So this whole thing. I mean, maybe it's a good thing he wasn't talked about because he's no lineman, but
I mean, how
you know.
often are linemen the talk of like a pregame show or, you know?
No, exactly. I mean, the last one that I can remember, it was like Penny Sewell, because I remember when he came out, everybody was like, "Oh, he's the next Munoz or something like that," and turns out they were right. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I would like to trade back though. I'd like to get multiple picks because we do have a lot of holes on the team, you know. And I'm looking forward to this draft party, man. I think this draft party is going to be legit.
It's gonna be wild.
It's going to be. It's going to be. It's going to be. It's going to be crazy.
Did you hear what I had
no,
Clinton Hall do for you, by the way, big fella?
No, what happened? Did they put a bed in there, bro?
Well, instead of a table for you, you have your own mattress to lay on all night.
Oh, that'd be legit. I would love that, man. I would absolutely love that.
And fans are allowed to lay on the bed next to you and take a picture.
Oh, that'd be perfect. Yeah, absolutely. I'll welcome it, bro. I'll totally welcome it. That'd be awesome. Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody again. You know, these outings are really great, and you know, we're lucky to have you like set everything up for this. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. It you know, a lot of work behind the scenes goes into it, but it's so worth it when we had some of the great moments last year and really the last couple of years, but really the last year in general. Once I moved back to New York and consistently put together, you know, events, they've all been so much fun. So it's awesome to do it.
Yeah, no, it has. It's been great, and like we're all thankful for you, man, for real. Now, yeah, I assume you've heard about my Tennessee stuff going on down there with Nico.
Yeah, I talked about it on the radio a lot on Saturday. It's wild.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Now he's probably going to get less money than what he was getting at Tennessee.
Yeah, I think he got terrible advice. I thought that was ridiculous what he was doing.
Yeah, and supposedly he was going to hold out before the playoff game last year, which is insane. So,
yep.
I don't know. The NIL is good, but it's also not good. You know, I mean, there has to be regulations put in place for this stuff not to happen. So, I don't know. That's all I got with you, man. I look forward to seeing you at the draft party, and go Jets.
Ladies and gentlemen, the big fella.
He's home, his belly's on the bed. That's what feels good. On the road, his belly's on the bed. In a dirty hotel room. He calls the show, his belly's on the bed. He's just more comfortable. He got a beard, he loves the Jets, super Jets. Well, the big fella sleeps alone. There's no room on his bed. Well, that's a big fella.
One of the great intros that we have for any of the regulars. It's so funny. All right, more calls here. We got some fresh callers on the line here. If you do want a super chat, I will read it immediately. And if you want to gift the membership, you'll be entered in the raffle. By the way, I should mention this. When you join the Patreon for the year, and it's now 20% you save over the year instead of 15, made that adjustment a couple of weeks ago, you do get 10 raffle entries included in whatever raffle we have that week. So just another reason to hopefully join the Patreon and be a part of our growing community there. Get in the Discord, which is private for only Patreon users, all that. Let's say hi to Indy Jets, who's next. What's up, Indy?
Hey, Jake. I'm still trying to get that image out of him laying on the mattress for the whole time and Charles joining him. That is just I don't know if there's enough to drink there to get that out of that. I don't know if I want to see that, but hey, speaking of the draft party, you know, we bought the tickets, and you and I talked yesterday about gifting one of those tickets to, you know, a lady that you said needs a ticket. Do they need that barcode, scan code, or how are you doing that?
I will find out. I don't believe so. I think there's just going to be someone checking people in at the door, so it will be all right. But yeah, I'll have more info on that when we get closer. I'm talking with them this week.
Yeah, I just didn't know it, but yeah, getting that image out is I think that's a great idea. Since we don't have the Asmaniac, March Madness, and then when the draft's over, we've got a little gap. So maybe we could do a contest of how I became best story of how I became a Jets fan.
Interesting. I like it. Well, people could
You
call
know.
it and share their stories.
Yeah, share the story, and then let it do that for a week, and then we can go back to voting. Some of us are going through voting withdrawal. But yeah,
that is
that's
true.
yeah. So just wanted to throw that out there, and do my best, 2 minutes here to keep the beast off of the screen.
Now, I have an email from you, Indy, but did you mean to send it to me like recently? Because it's like it says this message seems dangerous. Like it got flagged by Gmail here.
It's the 5-second clip of Beast, saying, you learn to win the game. I video clipped it and sent it to you.
That's so weird that it got flagged. It's saying it can't play. I don't know. I'm gonna trust you here and say it looks safe, and let's see if I could actually download this thing and play. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. I don't know what caused that, but I was able to now download it. Let's take a look here. Let's see the official quote from Beast on a future Asmaniac t-shirt. Hold on. Let's get this to load here. Rick says don't click on it. It's a virus. I don't think it's a virus because it's from you, Indy. I'm looking.
Yeah, it's just a screen recording is all of the exact wordage of whatever that was.
Here we go.
To play the game and win the game, not hard.
You learn to play the game and win the game, not hard.
To play the game and win the game, not hard.
And it just cuts out, but he's saying not hard. Yep.
Yeah, it's just not hard. Yeah. But anyway, I look forward to seeing you on Thursday. What are you saying? Less than 9 days away. So
9 days. 9 days.
Yeah. One more thing. So I've been watching the comments, and you were absolutely right about Allen is such a fraud. He cannot help himself. I mean, every other word that comes out is trade Brees and trade Quinnen.
Alan doesn't like me because I exposed how crappy of a fan. I use fan very loosely. He is
absolutely, yeah, and it's just it's insane that these are
every show. He goes in he can't call in anymore, but he has time to comment on Boy Green's show every day. He has time to watch this show. He has time to watch Bobby. He has time to watch Nick Shine. Like it's ridiculous.
I don't know if it's because he's dressing up in women's clothes now. I don't know what his deal, and that's why he can't come on. I don't know, but for some reason in a contract, he's not allowed to be on TV or on YouTube or whatever. But okay,
he called you a moron in one of his comments I'm seeing here.
Yeah. I mean, anything coming from Allen is suspect anyway. So I'm not too concerned about what that is. But you were absolutely, when you said fraud, I think that is the perfect description of Allen.
I love it. Indy, I'll see you in 9 days.
Yeah. We'll see you Thursday.
Indy Jets checking in. He's coming to the party. You should too. If Indy Jets could fly in from Carolina to be at this thing, what's your excuse? Come hang out with Indy Jets and Fireman Ed and Bobby Midnight. Dave Brigham wants to know, where's Bobby Boycott? So Bobby did call into the first show today. Said he's been walking. It's been nice outside, and that was his reasoning why he hasn't called as much. So we did get an update there for those of you accusing Bobby of being a boycotter. Bino with a super chat. I became a fan. My whole family are Giants fans except my Uncle Felix. He bought me a Freeman McNeil football and tee for Christmas of '82. That was it. Well, there you go. Good story, Bino. Thomas writes in, anyone see Bobby Midnight? He coming to draft still. I have not seen Bobby Midnight since this morning, but yes, he will be at the draft party, him and Mikey. Let's see. Oscar says, Jake, please take a video of Mikey meeting Kevin James at the draft party. Hell yeah. Jet Nation, where does Justin Fields rank amongst starters in 2025? I have no idea. How am I supposed to rank that right now? I don't know. You hope he's one of the best players on the team. That'd be nice. We don't even have all our starters yet, so I don't know. I can't even do that. I'll tell you what. He's one of their better players on offense, though, just as a runner, because they don't have that many playmakers. They don't. That's why I'm team weapon right now. More calls right now before we wrap here. Let's say hello to Barbarossa, who joins us now. What's up, Barbarossa?
Hey guys, what's up? Cheers, everybody. I don't like the trading Brees Hall, and Quinn Williams kind of just nonsense. It's crazy. We're trading some of our best players to get draft picks to pick other good players. It's just stupid. I mean, you've said it so many times, other people said it, but I don't really understand why people are thinking that. And Beast knows his Herm Edwards trivia. I'll say that he definitely does. You gotta play the game to win the game. I actually use that quote for a thing for when I teach a little bit.
Did we lose you, Barbarossa? Man, that is the second time that has happened. And sometimes that happens to me.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, you're back. There you are.
Yeah. Dude, there's Bills fans on here. I think the Bills are trying to mess with us. I think that's what it is.
I agree.
Yeah. No, it's pretty tough. I don't like hearing it that we got to trade our best players away. Like, where are we as a team if we're trading our best players away? Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me.
Because then you got to replace
we got to fill
those right, and there's no guarantee they're going to be better. And then if you make a mistake, then you try to overcompensate in free agency, where you're spending a premium for probably okay to good players at best, because the best players don't hit free agency because they get signed by the teams that draft them. And then it's like it's a never-ending cycle. It's like you finally have good players, keep your own, because you got to allocate the money elsewhere anyway. So just pay your own players.
It's like then we wind up signing Buster Screen for like $12 million or $15 million a year. It's like it becomes a disaster, and it just becomes like a very negative kind of feedback loop because we screwed ourselves by not picking good players or giving them away. Now, like you said, we overcompensate, and then we don't have the money to keep a good player.
Right.
So it's really frustrating. We just got to hope that Muji knows what the hell he's doing. Like, this guy's really got to be an overall just well-rounded. Like, he's got to be the opposite of Mike McCagnon, basically. We just need someone who's the opposite of that guy, and I think we'll be okay.
What would McCagnon do? And then do the opposite, and we'll be all
right.
Yeah,
McCagnon would pick Mason Graham and trade Quinn Williams. That's what he'd do.
No, he would probably take Genty, honestly.
Without trading Brees Hall or with trading Brees Hall?
He might keep Brees Hall, and then but he would neglect other key positions. Like, he was always he drafted non-premium positions way too often.
Yeah,
and bad players in general. I mean, Ja'Kai Polite, Christian Hackenberg never played games as Jets. Hackenberg never played in the NFL.
I was listening to that. I was listening to it live as I was playing video games, and as we were talking about that, I think I played worse. Just hearing those two names made me just absolutely made me lose focus and concentration, because those guys just so frustrating hearing Christian Hackenberg never played it's crazy. He never played it down. I don't know what the what other imagine getting hired by a company and then never going in to actually work. That's what happened. You got hired and you never actually worked.
It's amazing.
You fire the hiring recruiter immediately. That person would be immediately just canned. Go work at McDonald's. That's it. You're done. So I don't know. Woody Johnson just needs to pull his head out of his old wrinkly ass and get something done for us for once in his life.
Well, these are his hires, so it's on him now. He never wanted to take any responsibility for Douglas and Saleh because his brother technically oversaw it, right? And Douglas hired Saleh. These are his hires.
It's and it's tough, but it's so easy for him to just say oh, I didn't hire these people. He's still the owner. It's just he's just got to do better. That doesn't necessarily mean doing more, but he's just got to do better. And it starts with hiring the right people, and hopefully that's what he's done. But I mean, I generally feel good about Aaron Glenn. You want to feel good about a player who's played on your team, who's coaching the team now. But I feel good, and he strikes me as somebody that just as a wrestler, I'd want to wrestle with that guy. I'd want to fight for him. I feel like he'd have my well-being as an athlete in his, the forefront of his mind and how I can help the team the most. So that's all we can really ask for as fans. But I like what he brings to the table.
I love it. Barbarossa, I'll see you in 9
Cheers.
days. Can't wait.
Yes. Me and the wife will be there.
Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's quite the date night, the Asmaniac Draft Party. All right, bring the wags, the wives and girlfriends. Bring them out. Keep them away from Bobby Midnight, though. All right? But bring them out. Maybe not the best endorsement for them to come, but it's all going to be great. Roseanne writes in. Roseanne, whose dad won the Wayne Corbett football yesterday. Oh, by the way, how awesome is that? She'll be at the draft party. Could someone pay to send Allen to the hole already? Beastbreaker then wrote, Jake, Roseanne wants Allen in the hole. I'll tell you what. Nobody pay to send Allen to the hole. All right? You don't have to do that. And you guys know I'm a Capel fish. Right? I'm just going to do it for free. Ladies and gentlemen, farewell to Allen.
Now look what you've done, Alan. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
We'll see you later. Now, the thing is, if someone does pay the bounty to set Allen free, I will honor it because I'm a man of honor. But I send him to the hole free of charge. Now, why? Because why not? And that's my philosophy. Why not? Hit the like button if you haven't. Wow, David says Warden Jake getting soft. Maybe I'm soft then, David. I don't know what to tell you. Matthew Smith says, Roseanne, can I buy you a drink at the draft party? Hey, now. Matthew Smith shooting his shot. Three Siblings says, keep your women away from Bobby if you still want to be married. It's true. Here's a great segment idea I have to wrap the show. So, Beastbreaker, if you guys missed it, while trying to quote Herm Edwards' famous "You play to win the game" speech, he said, you learn to play the game and win the game. Not hard. It's not hard. So in honor of that, take a famous quote in history and Beastbreaker-ify it. Example, New Q wrote in, speak not that loudly and bring a large stick. Don't ask what your country can do for you, but what the hell you're going to do for your country. New segment we're calling Beastified. Famous quotes in history, but in Beastbreaker's own words. Thomas says, hope you got the gifted membership. Thomas, I don't think I did. Did you gift the membership? Because it didn't come through. If you did, we didn't get it. So we didn't get it. But when you gift one, I'll add you to the raffle. Barbarossa says, the only thing we have to fear is being scared. Daz writes in, you miss every shot you don't take. Let's see. Give me some quotes. Gator writes in, I didn't play cornhole with that woman. Ref fan, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, and I won't get fooled again. Now that's a great one because we know Bush botched that one. What else we got here? Rich, thinking is overrated. Woody Johnson / Beastbreaker. Roseanne writes in, 4 scores and 7 minutes in heaven. Beast Braham Lincoln. Well done. Well done. Clancy says, 1 small step for man, 1 giant leap for beast. Now, I was hoping Gary would call in. I'm wearing a Nassau shirt because I believe in achievement like Dave Briga. And Gary didn't call in today. He called it on the first show. Tom Ace, one step for man, one giant bite of gabagool for mankind. So good. Matthew Smith, one small step for man, one giant hero for beast. Amazing. We got the best listeners, man. We really do. We really do. Come to the draft party, man. What more do you need? It's going to be a wild night. I can't wait. Ladies and gentlemen, I am, in fact, wearing a NASA shirt. And I'm excited. Because I wasn't sure if he was out there. Wasn't sure if he was available. But I got some good news for the people. The man himself is on the line. Gary, how are you?
You ask and you shall receive. You ask and you shall receive. I am here. So you change your shirts in between shows?
Well, I work out, so yeah.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Like I took
Fair
a
enough.
shower.
Yeah, that's reasonable. That's reasonable. You had a Jet shirt on this one, didn't you?
I don't know what I had. I think I had a Asmaniac shirt on this morning.
Oh, did you? Okay. I'd like to see your closet. See like how much green is in your closet.
My closet is absurd. I have like just like honestly, half the closet is shirts that are Jet or Jake Asman show related, and hats that are just different Jet hats because I wear different hats on the show.
You do, and that hat is not your finest. I'll just be honest. That's not your finest hat.
One of my best hats I own.
The broke-ass Yankees.
Barbarossa wants to know, do I take steroids? And if so, nice. Oh, yeah. Thomas says I gifted through Patreon. Did you gift the membership to someone on Patreon, Thomas? I'm going to have to connect with you off air. I'm not sure what you mean. Memberships are only for YouTube.
Well, I don't know. Did he buy someone a membership in the Patreon? I don't know.
I don't know.
You
I don't know if you
saying?
can do that.
I don't know either.
You could gift people Patreon memberships from the month. That I know.
Is that what he's talking about?
Yeah, I think. Okay. I don't know. Anything else, Gary?
You wanted me to call in.
Yeah. Do you like my shirt?
Just to see that. No more money for NASA until they come clean.
Why don't you believe in achievement? Why?
Because it's just an idiotic statement to say I believe in achievement. No one's been able to articulate what that even means.
It means you don't believe in achievement.
Yeah, I know that's circular reasoning.
The moon landing was a great achievement, and you don't believe it happened. You don't believe in achievement.
So because I think one person lied, therefore I don't believe that anyone has ever achieved anything.
That is correct. You don't believe in achievement.
Rubbing sticks together, living in the woods, right? Like so, someone's achieved something. I guess I'm just too literal, and like little low IQ cliches that don't really resonate with me. Like,
let me ask you this: if we weren't on the moon, right? Then how the heck did you and I argue there last month?
Would you take Robert Griffin III again in the first round?
I mean, at what point?
Just yes or no, Jake. Just yes or no. This is not a preamble. It's not filibuster. It's not Spurs about 50 things. Yes or no. Would you take? There you go.
Second. Oh my God, dude.
Explain that.
That was one of the good ones, and we were definitely on the moon. That's actually us on the moon, confirmed.
Beastbreaker says, Jake, should I smoke Gary? Yeah, I think you should, Beast. Gary can't handle the truth.
Certainly not.
Right, Gary?
No.
Where'd you go? Say you can't handle it.
I ran away. The truth was coming, so I had to leave because I can't handle the truth.
You want the truth? We'll give you the truth.
Worst.
What up, Beast?
Well, how's it feel wearing that Jets jersey there, champ? Is
Justin
that
Fields just came in yesterday.
Boomer? Is that a Boomer Esiason or is that a Ken
No,
O'Brien?
but I had a Boomer Esiason jersey in like the 7th grade. But this is Justin Fields.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice quote there. Well, it's for achievement. I made some good points on this show today, like a real hard body slam. Let me just say this: there's a lot of good things about me that I'm very thankful for. I got Jesus. I got a granddaughter.
Glory to
daughter,
God. Amen.
And a future. And let me just say this: I'm too scary enough to do everything. But right now, I gotta go take a shit right now. But I'll talk to you later. Okay.
Did he say he has a boner? That he has certain things he's grateful for? Did he say he has a boner? Is that what he said?
So what happened there was a lot at once. Rick Kent, Rick, you're the man. Rick trying to send him to the hole. Beast is so afraid of getting sent to the hole that he leaves the show. So I can't be the one to actually carry out the whole sentence. It bothers him so much to be sent to the
hole. You just not allowed on the show for the rest of the show. You don't actually. They don't remove you and put you in a hole.
But that's what happened. He saw the $50 super chat before I could sound the alarms and play the video.
Oh,
so he left. Off? Yeah, that's what happened here. He doesn't have to take a poop. How do I know that? Because he's sitting right here. There you go. No poop for you, Beast.
I gotta take a shit.
No, you don't. You've been sitting there the whole time. No, you don't. I don't believe it. Now he's leaving. That's what happened there, Garrett. Your thoughts?
That's your boy, Jake. That's your boy.
Look, I respect the hole. If someone pays to send someone to the hole, who am I to not oblige?
How do you know he was sending Beast to the hole and not me?
Because Rick. That's actually a good point. Well, I think it's. He said, "What a coward!" So I think it's him.
Yeah.
Now I could send you to the hole as a sacrificial lamb if you want, Rick. I mean, Gary, I don't think didn't do anything bad. But Rick, if you want Gary sent to the hole, we could do that.
Mimosa sent me to the hole, and I didn't do anything bad. Many times, couple of times, bunch of times, multiple times. I never did anything bad. I like you too, Rick Kent. Let's go Mets. You know who else I like? You know who else I sign off on? Allen.
Of course.
I sign off Allen as a first-round pick. You've got my blessing. He's a good dude.
Man, that's kind of wild. The Beast just left so quick.
What does he think happens? He's been sent to the hole before. He understands like nothing actually happens. You get a virus on your computer, they don't come and get you. Like nothing happens. You just can't be on the show for the rest of the show.
And you can't comment.
Okay. Is that
sometimes I'm pretty lenient with that.
But it's like when someone says, "I call the cops on you," and then you leave. It's like they're still gonna find you, right? So you might as well just sit there and deal with them, right? Like even if Rick Kent has paid for him to be put in the hole, you're still gonna put him in the hole. He still can't comment. Like just stand there and take it like a man.
Well, the good news is for Beast, he now has, or the good news I should say for Rick, while he didn't get to send Beast to the hole, he did get himself 10 raffle entries for a chance to win the Ken O'Brien jersey,
the Ken O'Brien jersey,
the Keyshawn helmet, the Altoon helmet, the Sauce jersey. So it's not all for naught.
He's got 10 chances to win.
He does.
I know he wants that Ken O'Brien jersey. He strikes me as a Ken O'Brien guy.
And Rick just won the Klecko football, so he's on a roll.
There you go. You got to be in it to win it.
Rick says, I chased him off the show, which is good enough for me. That's well said.
I don't know how much well, I'm not going to do that to you. How much, all right. It just seems like if you, instead of putting all this money into with a Ken O'Brien autograph, you just buy the Ken O'Brien autograph. But, I don't know how much a Ken O'Brien autograph, and it's making you money. So
and then get it printed on like the jersey?
Well, can't you just go on eBay and buy it? I don't know. I mean, a Ken O'Brien autographed jersey, it can't be that rare of an item, right? I mean, he's got to have autographed a bunch of jerseys.
Right.
Can you just buy a Ken O'Brien autographed jersey like you do? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like, did you win it? Did you get it from someone? Or did you
I buy the merch items that we raffle away. What do you mean? You can't just buy it. I mean, you could, sure, if you have unlimited money. But let me ask you this. The Joe Namath helmet that Nate won, That's almost $600 I spent on that.
Well, Joe Namath is different than Ken O'Brien. Would we agree? Like, Joe
Well,
Namath
there's different. Well, Gary, I don't know if you've noticed this, but certain prizes we lead off with them as the big prize, and then they get gradually maybe smaller throughout.
Okay, I see. And you're just. I'm not an autograph guy, so you're just betting on any of them, all of them, and then what you get. All right, because you could theoretically
Autographs
win the big prize.
it's a lot like cars, right? Like a Nissan is going to cost less than a Rolls Royce.
Clancy, the brand new Justin Fields jersey just came in yesterday. No,
I guess, Gary, you could go on.
use
Let's see. You could go on eBay right now. Let's see. Ken O'Brien signed jersey. Let's see what the cheapest one is. You could go on eBay right now, and also there's different. Like, I only buy ones that come with certificate of authentication. So it's like because anyone could come up with a fake
Barbarossa
autograph.
ever want to have an IQ test with me, I will spot him one standard deviation, and if he beats me, I'll donate to his favorite charity. Barbarossa. If that's what you want to do, you think you're smarter than me? I promise you're not. If that's what you want to do, I'll gladly do it with you.
Okay,
so he's sitting in there drinking poison that numbs his brain, so his brain cells don't work together, and then thinks he's smart. It just befuddles me. Go ahead.
I didn't realize you guys had such beef.
I don't have any beef with him, but he sits there and makes comments like he's smarter than me. It's like if you want to have an IQ contest, I guarantee you're not going to beat me. We could do that.
Stunning. StreamYard's acting up. The cheapest Ken O'Brien jersey you could get on eBay looks like after shipping $75-ish, I guess. Rick Kent paid $50, so he has a chance to win that and the other prizes. I mean, it's up to you.
Yeah, it's the other. You're saying the 50, you're almost at the price of the jersey with no guarantee to win it. But no, body membership is good. I don't want it. Body memberships are good.
You also support the show, you know.
Yeah. Body memberships. For sure.
Now, you want a Curtis Martin helmet? That's going to cost more than $70.
See, that's a pricey item. Curtis Martin is one of the goats.
Yeah.
He's the greatest Jet of all time. He's the Jets goat. I don't care. He's a better football player than Joe Namath. He had a better career than Joe Namath. I understand he didn't win Super Bowl III. Curtis Martin was a better Jet than Joe Namath.
Super chat here from Rick. Are you hosting the show now too?
Would you like me to?
No, I already let Australian Jet fan do it. So I would not. Can I continue?
Yeah, please.
All right, here we go.
Yes, continue.
Sure.
Yes, continue.
Gary, if I win, it's great. But if I don't, I don't care. I support the show. It's not about the autographs. See, that's why we love Rick Kent. He's the hero that we need.
100%, Burke. 100%.
I'm trying to find something, but I'm struggling with it here. I don't know. I'm really just aggravated with StreamYard. I can't find anything I need when you need it, and that's just very disappointing.
Tom Mace, that's a good one, Tom Mace. They'll be playing golf in Cancun, Tom Mace.
Yeah. Envelope Mawai, the most underrated pickup in Jet history. He's certainly one of them. I mean, guy became a Hall of Famer with the Jets.
I agree with that.
Let's see. Okay. I think I have it now. Ladies and gentlemen, he's back from taking a poo, I believe. Beastbreaker joins us. Hey, Beast.
I'm okay a little bit. And also had backed up gas. Not too good.
No?
And I got to learn to cut down the cheese a little bit. Can't handle too much.
Now look what you've done.
Offensive line, defensive
Beastbreaker
line. The first thing I'm going to
666.
address-
No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to cut your call off and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. Do you understand me? You catch my drift?
Are you seriously on crack? I think somebody
Give him another 24 hours to think about it.
How about you bending over and taking up the booty hole behind the 7-Eleven?
We'll see you later, Beast. Had to be done.
He knew that was coming. He tried to hide, but eventually the law tracks you down.
Look, you could try and hide, but Warden Asman doesn't mess around when it comes to the price people pay to send others to the hole.
Sometimes you got to stand in the pocket and fight. That's all. That's it. You can't run forever. Sometimes
Absolutely.
You gotta stand in the pocket and fight.
All right, Gary, I got to run. I appreciate you calling in.
You be good, Jake.
Yep, you too. I believe in achievement. Say it. I believe in achievement.
I believe in achievement. I don't know what that means specifically, but sure, it sounds good. You can put that on a t-shirt.
Chicken with pasta is worse than peanut butter with sandwich.
Honestly, we could put all of Gary's great quotes on a t-shirt of a Gary line. Unreal. Beast Breaker's final words to Rick Kent. You love tampons. Beast. Thank you for the time. On that note, that does it. I want to thank everyone out there for the support. More chances to get in the raffle tomorrow. I'm working on a Revis prize for Purple Belt Mike, but maybe Gary will understand this. Terrell Revis autographs on things aren't exactly cheap. So we'll see what I could do. On that note, great show. Thank you all for watching. Love you all. Go Jets. My name is Jake Asman. This has been the Jake Asman Show. We are back tomorrow. We're stacked with great content all week long. We'll be down to 8 days till the NFL draft. I can't wait. Go Jets, everyone. Jets. Jets, Jets, Jets.
Jets! Let's go!
There were 2 listeners of mine who called WFAN asking 2 separate hosts if the Jets should take Knoble, and each host was like, they were stumped. They're like, I haven't done enough draft prep. I'm unaware. And they're reciting lines from the show.
John and Seaford, what's up, bud?
A lot of these Jets fans out there want Brock Bowers.
Yes, that is the sexy name surrounding the Jets.
I think the 3 options you go, O-line, receiver, or if Knoble out of college is there, you got to take Knoble. 5'7", 198, plays both sides of the ball. Not sure if you know him. Mel Kiper had him top 15 pick. What are your thoughts on Knoble?
I don't know him that well. I'll be totally honest with you. Bro, I got to do more draft prep. You said he plays both sides of the ball. Makes me think, who plays both sides of the ball in the NFL?
This Jet fan base is full of chickens. Who gives a shit about next year's draft? If you guys are not going to fly like eagles and grow some goddamn balls, get the hell off the chat and go hang out with Charles Gorman and his mother eating some chicken soup. I'm tired of this shit. If we don't get Tyrone Smith and shore up this goddamn offensive line, I'm done. This is bullshit. Everybody's praising Joe Douglas. I gotta tell you, I'm starting to get pissed. This is the difference between a winner and a goddamn loser. We're a bunch of losers. I'm tired of it. Tyrone Smith's sitting there. What does Joe Douglas say? But draw the line. I will give you $12 million. Wait, you're not gonna pay the guy? What are you waiting for? Jesus Christ, I'm pissed.